Nobody likes mosquitoes. Nobody likes that sound. And yet, genetically modified mosquitoes with a suicide gene have been created to help combat diseases such as dengue fever and Zika virus. The insects have been developed by Oxitec, a company founded by Oxford University scientists. People in Brazil can now order eggs online which produce genetically altered male mosquitoes. Dr. Nathan Rose, head of Scientific and Regulatory Affairs at Oxitec, joins us now to tell us more. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on our programme. So you've got to explain how this works.
So our males don't bite and they can't transmit disease. And when we release them, they mate with the wild female mosquitoes and all of their female offspring die. So it's a very targeted way to reduce the population of just this disease-carrying mosquito. And this species is the one that's responsible for almost all transmission of tropical diseases like dengue and Zika virus throughout the world.
But not malaria?
Not malaria. Malaria is transmitted by different mosquitoes, but we are also developing similar technology in malaria mosquitoes for use in Africa and Central America.
And as well as tweaking their genes so that all their female offspring die, they're also fluorescent, so you'll be able to spot which ones have been genetically modified.
That's right. So we've also put a gene in there which helps us to tell our mosquitoes from the wild ones which are out there.
And you're relying on members of the public to buy them. How is this going to work?
So the way it works is that a member of the public can buy these mosquito eggs online, and they come together with a kit that they can install in their garden. You put the eggs in, you add some water, and you add some diet for the mosquitoes as they develop. And within about 10 days, the non-biting male mosquitoes will come out. They'll go and mate with the wild females, and then those females will lay their eggs, and all of their female offspring will die. So it's a really accessible way to actually combat this particular mosquito.
And you're imagining people would do this instead of having kind of mosquito coils or other methods of trying to deter mosquitoes. They'll just buy these male mosquitoes to rid their home and garden of them.
Absolutely. So it's available online in Brazil, and it's certainly being bought by consumers. It's also something which is being used by health authorities, by municipalities to help control this mosquito on a citywide scale as well.
And are they going to be expensive?
Our goal is really to make this accessible to whoever needs this mosquito, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in other parts of the world as well, because this is a mosquito which is really causing a lot of disease burden throughout the tropics.
Now, mosquitoes don't have many fans, Dr. Rose, and I'm going to play devil's advocate and stick up for them. Isn't it a bit worrying if we're effectively trying to make any species extinct? Couldn't there be unintended consequences, unforeseeable consequences? And is it right for us to be tinkering with nature like this?
So this particular mosquito in places like Brazil and the US and so on is actually an invasive species. It shouldn't be there in the first place. It's only been there for a couple of 100 years. And so really what we're trying to do is to restore that environment to what it was like before this mosquito invaded these countries. And the other thing which a lot of people maybe don't realize is that there are something like 3,500 different species of mosquito worldwide, but only a few dozen of those actually transmit disease and cause significant problems for humans.
Wouldn't this affect the food chain in any way?
So again, this is a mosquito which is invasive, so there's no species which is going to depend on this particular species as part of its essential diet in that environment.
Someone had to stick up for the mosquitoes. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about this remarkable discovery, this remarkable innovation of genetically altered male mosquitoes. That's Dr. Nathan Rose there, Head of Scientific and Regulatory Affairs at Oxitec.